What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your least favorite YouTuber here, back at it again to drop What If Naruto Had the Rinnegan. Now, as for this series, you guys might be wondering, what's Zedder gonna do? What is he gonna do that's gonna make this series different from the others? Let me tell you, I'm gonna grab someone else's what if. I'm gonna copy and paste it, change 3 or 4 words, and you're still gonna love it. Nah, I'm totally trolling, but seriously though, there's not too many real ways that I can go with the series, so it's kind of just gonna be more of a light-hearted one. And I know that the poll was what if Naruto had the 10 tails, or was the 10 tails in Cherokee, but I'm having so bad of writer's blocks. That's why I have not done it yet. Like, the writer's block for that series is so bad. So if you guys can help me out by commenting some ideas as to how Naruto gets the 10 tails down below, that'd be pretty appreciated, so that can be the next what if that I'm dropping. I decided to drop this one in parts, and what if Naruto was the 10 tails in Cherokee in a movie format. So if you guys can help me out, then the sooner you guys will be getting that series. That being said though, guys, the like goal for today's video is going to be 800 likes. So if you guys want to see a part 2 to this, then definitely make sure you smash that. But without any further ado, let's get right into the video.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
Okay, so to get into what if Naruto had the Rinnegan, first we have to cover his origins. Now, of course, this is all going to pretty much play out just like it does in canon. The only difference is going to be that Naruto being born with the Rinnegan is going to shock, and I mean shock, Minato. See, the way that this essentially goes down is obviously Kushina gives birth to a Naruto, who then awakens and basically opens his eyes to reveal the Rinnegan. I really was about to say Naruto, but no, the Rinnegan. After this, we basically just have Minato being shocked as Kushina would hold the baby Naruto with blonde hair and the Rinnegan in both eyes, as she would just be shocked because they have never encountered those eyes. And Minato just remembers that the only person, the only other person to have those was a student of Jiraiya's and the sage of the 6 paths. So this would just shock Minato. And during this moment of shock, the man with the mask would just come in and take Naruto, realizing that he has a pair of Rinnegan. Now, Obito seeing this would immediately be shocked, causing Minato to take a baby Naruto and take him away into a safe place. This would lead to Minato and Obito fighting, with Kushina getting the 9 tails extracted, and Minato then having to sacrifice his life in order to protect a baby Naruto. After this, we basically have Hiruzen showing up after all is said and done, with Minato asking Hiruzen to essentially take care of Naruto, at least until he can fend for himself, as Hiruzen would promise Minato that he will, and this is when he would see the eyes that Naruto has, as before Minato can explain anything, Hiruzen would just see Minato's body just go limp, as Naruto in this version of events would have also had the entirety of the 9 tails sealed within him, because honestly there's no point for Minato to come back with the reanimation jutsu just to have his own KCM mode. It really didn't make sense. Naruto should have gotten the full entity of the 9 tails to begin with. So we're going to be doing just that. Naruto gets the full 9 tails sealed within him, and for the following 4 years, Naruto would be raised by Hiruzen. And I say that with very strong quotation marks. Hiruzen would very much neglect Naruto when he is on his come up, because of the simple fact that seeing the Rinnegan in Naruto's eyes kind of scares Hiruzen. It scares Hiruzen of the potential that Naruto has. Not only does he have the Rinnegan, but he also has the 9 tails sealed within him, the strongest tailed beast that there is, other than the 10 tails, of course. And speaking of the 10 tails, it'd be pretty much appreciated if you guys were to go down and drop me some ideas on how to do that series, how to give it the 10 tails. I am just in utter writer's block. I'm having the worst writer block in history when it comes to that series. But tangent aside, obviously he opts out of teaching Naruto a lot of things. So when Naruto was growing up, he basically is just taught common things like how to talk and all that crazy stuff. But Hiruzen has other people do it because of the simple fact that Hiruzen has a little bit of a grudge against Naruto, because it's his fault that his wife died. or so that's what Hiruzen thinks. So in this version, Hiruzen's gonna kind of have a little bit of a disliking towards Naruto that's just slowly going to grow as the years go by. As Naruto grows up and keeps wanting attention from Hiruzen and others, he starts pulling pranks, which cause Hiruzen to like Naruto less and less. And this just causes for a Naruto who just gets neglected. And as soon as he turns 4 years old, he basically gets thrown into his own little apartment with spoiled milk and all that crazy stuff. After this, Naruto would essentially be living on his own, and this is when the torture would start. For the following year, Naruto would be picked on for the pigmentation of his eyes. People would look at him and call him a freak. Some people who have like some idea of what the Rinnegan is would fear him, with others wanting to take the eyes. People like Danzo wanting to have the power of the Rinnegan for themselves. But Hiruzen, even though, you know, he doesn't like Naruto, obviously he doesn't want Danzo to have the Rinnegan. So he told him, you know, if he ever tries to take that Rinnegan from Naruto, he's gonna do, you know, he's gonna go crazy. He's gonna have to, you know, he's gonna have to fold that man like an omelet, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's essentially why Danzo doesn't just go up to Naruto and be like, yoink, give me those eyes. So yeah, that being said, this would essentially just lead to a bunch of people just treating Naruto even worse than they did in canon, way worse than in the original, to the point where Naruto would fear going out. He would literally have a fear of going outside of his own house. What kind of a 5-year-old to 4-year-old would have to experience something like that in their lives? Every time that he would go out, people would call him names, throw things at him, and every now and then when Naruto would get too close to someone's shop, they would literally beat Naruto just for getting close to them. This is a different level of horrible treatment, and this would continue for an entire year until Naruto is at the age of 5, where Naruto one day when he is sleeping ends up waking up in a dark, ominous cage with water inside of it. Naruto would walk over to a gigantic cage as he would see a gigantic creature standing behind these locked gates. Naruto would see Kurama in all of his glory, as Kurama would see the eyes that Naruto has, and Kurama did notice the Rinnegan in Naruto. And you know, when he sees this, he would just be in utter silence. Like, he wouldn't try to attack Naruto like he did in the original when, you know, Naruto first met Kurama and like he tried to like slash him. Naruto would literally see the Sage of Six Paths in Naruto, as Naruto would get close to the gate and say, "Whoa." This is when Kurama would turn towards Naruto, as he would growl and basically go to attack him with this claw just to see what Naruto does. Naruto would just close his eyes as he stands there just accepting his fate, and before Kurama can finish the attack, he would stop as he would say, "Why do you show no fear, boy?" You know, he would just talk to him in an ominous way, as Naruto would look up at him and say, "I honestly am not afraid of death." Kurama would look down at Naruto as he would just be shocked, like, what is going on with this kid? Naruto would explain to Kurama what it is he's been going through, and Kurama would say that he knew, you know, he can feel everything around himself, but he can't exactly tell perfectly what's happening around him, seeing as at this point the seal was extremely powerful, and just now it was weak enough for Kurama to talk to him just for a little bit. But as Kurama sees the eyes that Naruto has, he would ask Naruto why he doesn't defend himself, to which Naruto would respond that he can't. He doesn't have any ninja training. Kurama would look at him as he would growl and say, "You have the Rinnegan. Within your eyes, you have the powerful Genjutsu and, Dojutsu in existence," as Naruto would simply turn towards Kurama and say, "What's a Dojutsu?" As Kurama would be shocked at the fact that Naruto has never had this explained to him. Kurama would look at Naruto as he would say, "If you remove the seal, I can teach you how to harness that power that you have within yourself." As Naruto would see that, like, the seal, and he would go towards it as he would begin to slightly like try to rip it off, but there's a key that he needs to get. Like Jiraiya has to weaken the seal for him in order for Naruto to be able to do that. So Naruto is kind of slumped. And Kurama, seeing this, would take this opportunity to look at Naruto and say, "I'll train you behind the gates in exchange for my freedom." As Naruto would look at him and say, "It's done. As soon as I can figure out how to get the seal off, I'll do it. I promise." As Kurama would just look down at a Naruto who was kind of malnourished and weakened, as he would say the first thing of business, training your Rinnegan. For the following next couple of hours, which For the following next couple of, it'll feel like an eternity in here, but in the outside world, it will be nothing more than a day. As Naruto would simply look at Kurama as he would say, let's get started. And he would tell Naruto to create a couple of hand signs, which Kurama would basically show him with his own hands, to which Naruto would proceed to copy. And also, guys, in case you guys hear a lot of pauses in my voice, sorry about that, but you know, I have allergies right now, so I need to go blow my nose, and I've been having to for like the past 10 minutes, but I just opted out of it, which is why my voice sounds like I have a gigantic, enormous Snickers bar up my nose, in case you guys can hear that. But you know, that aside, Naruto would proceed to essentially create a couple of hand signs and realize that he actually has very good chakra control. Now you guys may be wondering why it is that Naruto can't access the chakra, and that's because Kurama isn't tampering with it. He's not like purposefully trying to, you know, do Naruto dirty by not letting him access it. So Naruto would try a couple of times, and by like the 50th try would finally create one shadow clone. After this, Kurama would turn towards Naruto as he would smile and essentially begin to teach him just the basic hand signs and teaching him how to create them very quickly, as that's literally what they would do for the following like days that they would be stuck in there. Naruto would simply learn the very basic fundamentals of what chakra control is, as Naruto would then awaken as the next day would come out and his body awoke him prematurely. Naruto would go to the fridge as he would notice that there's nothing to eat, and Kurama would tell him not to worry, as he would tell Naruto that it'll slip him a little bit of chakra for him to go out and get some food. Naruto would say he doesn't have any money, and Kurama would say exactly. As he would slip out just a tiny bit of his chakra, Naruto would be gifted that, as you know, he would notice that his eyes turned a slight reddish color. The Rinnegan went from, oh actually no, that wouldn't happen because he has the Rinnegan. The Rinnegan doesn't change colors. Ooh, his whiskers would simply get sharper, as Naruto just has a little bit of a slight red aura around him that can't be seen. Naruto would basically be a little like his mass would grow just a little bit, as Kurama's chakra is helping his body, you know, get a little stronger. As Naruto would using this chakra would run out, as he would jump from rooftop to rooftop, trying not to be seen by any of the villagers until he makes it to his favorite place, Ichiraku Ramen. Naruto would sit down and say that he doesn't have any money, as Ichiraku would look at the malnourished Naruto, simply saying that it's on the house. As he would give him a plate of miso pork ramen, Naruto would dig in, and he would literally like get down on both knees as he would thank Ichiraku, who seeing this would feel like bad for Naruto. How does a kid have to deal with something like this at such a young age? As he would look at Naruto, and he was about to say, wait kid, but Naruto was off, ran right back to his house, and he proceeded to essentially train with Kurama, as you know, he would just train in the outside world doing push-ups, sit-ups, and all that stuff until he finally, you know, did the thing with Kurama once again. This is when we will essentially have a 1-year time skip, as during this time, Naruto would now finally have a perfect mastery over his chakra, meaning that now Naruto is now 6 years old with perfect mastery over his chakra. Not only that, but Naruto would also have learned the secret of the Shadow Clone Jutsu, meaning he would have also learned how to use every single Rinnegan ability. I'm not about to sit here, make him learn how to use the Rinnegan abilities one step at a time. You know, he learned how to push and pull things at him when he's in the Chunin. Absolutely not. Not doing that. Naruto's gonna learn everything day one. Day one. He's gonna be OP. He's gonna be so broken. Should I do that? Man, I'm gonna do it. Who cares? That's not gonna have any repercussions, right? Nah, seriously though, Naruto essentially is going to be very gifted in terms of just using the Rinnegan, meaning that he knows how to use all 6 abilities, meaning the push and pull. He knows how to summon animals. He knows how to shoot like rockets and stuff like that. He knows how to let's see, what other abilities is there? I honestly forget most of the Rinnegan's abilities, to be honest. I need to look it up real quick. Let's see. Rinnegan abilities. Also, sorry for the loud keyboard. It's just that, you know, I have a mechanical one, so you know how they get extremely extremely loud, and it can't be helped. Okay, so check it out. We got the you know, the push and pull. We got the making one's body like look like weapons. We got taking souls away. Okay, that one's cool. We got the summoning. We got the absorbing chakra. We got the Preta path, you know, the access to the King of Hell. We got the outer path. It can oh yeah, it can give them the Rene rebirth, I think. And then we got the like controlling people with genjutsu and all that crazy. All right, yeah, I'll make this work. He can basically use all those abilities that I just listed off. Since you're on this video, you probably actually know what the Rinnegan does, not someone like me who just decided, you know what, Rinnegan Naruto would be pretty cool. I have a cool thumbnail for it, so why not? So yeah, in case you're one of those people, sorry, but as I said at the beginning of the video, it's more of a turn your brain off type of story. That being said though, we would essentially just have a Naruto who's grown up quite a little bit. And at this point, Naruto would be 6 years old, finally getting a little bit more nourishment in his system, because he just got paid by Hiruzen and now has Kurama there to basically help him out with, you know, buying things in finances and stuff like that. Naruto's seal would slightly be weakening as Kurama would slowly start, you know, shooting chakra out of the weakened seal every day, little by little. As Naruto would end up deciding that, you know, for his 6th birthday, he wants to go out to Ichiraku ramen shop. As, you know, Naruto would do just that. You know, he would go out as he hasn't been there for a while, seeing as Kurama doesn't think it's the wisest idea to waste a lot of his money to go there, but seeing as it's his birthday, it might be kind of fun. Naruto would arrive there with cash in his pocket as he would turn towards Ichiraku, with Ichiraku looking at him saying, "Oh, Naruto, it's been a while." He would look at the purple eyes that Naruto wields as Naruto would say, "Yeah, been a little bit, right?" As, you know, we would just have Ichiraku just looking at Naruto as he would say, "What'll it be today, Naruto?" As Naruto would just be like, "Let me just take the usual," as he would smile and give Naruto a bowl. Now, Ichiraku would be one of the very only people to ever be courteous or kind or show any sort of respect towards Naruto, which is saying a lot because everybody else just treats Naruto like complete garbage. So when Ichiraku does this, or, you know, Tetsuya, I think that's his name, or the ramen guy, whatever you guys really want to call him, Naruto just feels good because the only other interaction that Naruto gets is with the nine-tailed fox, which is, I mean, slightly better than what normally happens in the original. Also, by the way, in case you guys are wondering, the Hinata Naruto saving her stuff does end up happening because one day Naruto took a walk outside and decided to try out tree walking and stuff like that. And he saw Hinata getting picked on, saved her without being too gruesome about it, and she thanked him, always admiring Naruto from that day forward from afar. But, you know, Hinata wasn't allowed to really stalk him that much because they feared the power of the Rinnegan. That being said though, we would essentially just have Naruto finishing up his bowl, and Naruto now looks way better. He doesn't look like he needs food in his system, but Ichiraku still feels bad for Naruto, thinking that, you know, like he really had to waste all his money to just come here for his own birthday. Like nobody bought things for him. So Ichiraku would turn towards Naruto as he would say, "Hey Naruto." Naruto would say, "Don't worry about it. Don't let it be on the house. I'd feel bad." As Ichiraku would simply turn towards him and say, "No, it's nothing like that. I want to offer you a job." Naruto, hearing this, would be like, "What?" As Ichiraku would look at him and say, "You heard me. I want to offer you a job. Make some money. This way you'll be able to buy yourself some things that you want other than food. You can maybe get yourself a kunai or something like that. Maybe you can get yourself some extra food. Or if you want, I can compensate by giving you free ramen every other day." As Naruto would hear this and say, "You got it, boss man," he would essentially like go behind the counter as, you know, the ramen guy would just start teaching Naruto how to make the amazing ramen that is the one that Naruto loves. And Naruto, for the next couple of like essentially months, like the next 4 months, let's say 4 months, Naruto would basically work in the back in secret with, you know, Tetsuya just kind of hiding Naruto, seeing as he doesn't want people to stop coming to his business just because Naruto eats there or works there. As you know, Naruto keeps it hidden for like literally 4 months, growing to have a little bit of a father-son relationship with, you know, the ramen guy and his daughter. Naruto would actually build a pretty cool friendship with her as well. She's a lot older than Naruto, but, you know, they were still able to connect on some things. At this point, she isn't even in the ninja academy, seeing as she wants to go more towards the culinary route, and Naruto and, well, the ramen guy basically understand this. At this point, Naruto would now have all of the abilities down packed. locked. And at this point, Naruto would essentially just be learning the chakra nature, such as fire, water, wind, basically having a full mastery over all of them because of the simple fact that he already has the Rinnegan. So our boy Naruto is very, very powerful, to say the least. Naruto at this point hasn't really practiced too much on taijutsu, more so ninjutsu, so Naruto's definitely going to be having to practice a little bit on that front when it comes to being a ninja, as well as, you know, having real world experience, because at this point Naruto just knows what to do. He doesn't know how to put it into application, which is essentially what's holding him back from being the strongest ninja in the village. That being said, we would just have Naruto going into work one day, as one of the villagers would have noticed this. Naruto would basically go into work the very next day, as the villager would have basically been stalking Naruto, trying to see where it is he goes every day, as he would realize that he's going into, you know, the ramen guy's shop. And after Naruto's shift, Naruto would end up going off home, as that same villager would proceed to inform a bunch of other people that Naruto, the demon, the one with the Rinnegan, the weird eyes, has essentially been working at, you know, Teuchi's ramen shop. As a bunch of people are immediately just disgusted at the fact that the demon is the one that's been preparing their food all this time, as Naruto would be none the wiser at his house just enjoying time, as a bunch of the villagers would get together kind of deciding that they're gonna burn his place down and kill that man. As that same night, a bunch of villagers would end up going into his shop after hours, as they would burn it down, and Naruto would be asleep at this point, speaking with Kurama, as he just doesn't even sense any disturbances, and Teuchi and his daughter, they would be killed by the villagers, the same ones that feel like prejudice towards Naruto. As Naruto would wake up the next day and go to the shop, he would see that it's on fire. That it was burned to a crisp. As Naruto would run over there, and the same villagers who did that to it would just be standing there with smirks on their faces, saying not to worry or try to look for the man and his daughter. They were taken care of. And Naruto, hearing this, would lose all sense of self, as he would proceed to essentially like flash the Nine Tails chakra, as he would grow a full tail. His like whiskers would elongate, his nails would like get sharp, as Naruto would rush in towards the villagers, and he would just proceed to destroy them. This is when a passing Chunin would just be coming by, one that hates Naruto by the way, would just be walking by, as Naruto sees the ninja actually sees Naruto just obliterating these villagers. Naruto would use the pull ability of the Rinnegan to essentially have two of the villagers come at him, as he would squish their throats, causing them to cough out blood, as the ninja would come in out of nowhere with a kunai, but Naruto would swiftly create an earth wall jutsu, as it would block him from accessing the rest of the villagers, and in an instant Naruto would blitz over to the rest, as he would basically turn his arms into these rocket launchers and destroy the villagers. As he would then turn his attentions towards the ninja, he would take out two wired shuriken, throwing them at opposite directions of the ninja, as it would wrap around the ninja, and the kunais would simply spin around his throat over and over until it pierces and the ninja's head would come clean off. Naruto would land on the ground, as he would simply just be enraged, just thinking that those were the only people he could have ever called family. Naruto from that day forth just became distant. And all the people who saw Naruto, like, there was literally not people there watching Naruto, because anybody that was around, they got killed. And a lot of people, realizing that those villagers were not good people, did not bother sticking around. So Naruto ended up taking care of every single person that had bad intentions towards him, and there was no bystanders. So Naruto never ended up exactly being, well, caught doing it. A lot of people had their suspicions, but without any solid proof, they couldn't do a thing to Naruto. And so we basically just have a Naruto who grows like more along the lines of what Sasuke's like, keeping to himself and actually never going out again, preparing his own ramen at home and learning that recipe. Now Naruto can cook it for himself every other day. Kurama and Naruto both actually felt a little attachment towards those two people, with Naruto just feeling depressed. Honestly, it's just not a good feeling, having, you know, people who you truly felt connected to and then losing them all in an instant. Naruto now can share the same pain that Sasuke felt, but Naruto got his revenge, and what Naruto realized was that it didn't it didn't do anything. It didn't fill the hole in his heart that he got from losing them. It just opened it up. It made him feel as bad as the same people who did that to himself, that did that to them. As Naruto would just kind of end up continuing to train in taijutsu and all that stuff until his first day at the academy would finally come in. Naruto would end up taking a written exam just to see where all of them are at, and in terms of what Naruto's knowledge is on the ninja world, it would be exponentially high. Naruto would get perfect markings on the exam, with Iruka being extremely impressed. Shuriken throwing, Naruto would hit perfect bullseyes. And when it comes to like the race and like the obstacle course, Naruto would clear it in half the time that it took Itachi and hit every single target. Not a thing was missed. Iruka seeing this would just think that Naruto is like a far cry from a prodigy. He's something leagues and bounds beyond that. As Naruto's entire time at the academy would simply just be him outperforming every single record that has ever been established by anybody else. Now, other villagers would basically see Naruto and think that, the nine-tailed fox. But anytime that, some villagers would do that stuff, Naruto would use his push ability to essentially just look at their direction, and the villagers would always just get pushed away, like falling over, with them all being scared. And them all not really like knowing what happened would just be terrified of Naruto. So it's like even the villagers that were like, oh my god, Naruto shouldn't be allowed to train, would just kind of be silenced by Naruto out of fear for him. And so what Naruto would essentially do is just continue doing his own thing. It's kind of keeping to himself and only really showing off his abilities when it's time to take some exam or stuff like that. Here, now, Sasuke would still have all the attention, however, because Naruto, does that, a couple of people are impressed, but after Naruto keeps doing it, people just expect that to be the standard. So, they still are just infatuated with Sasuke, being the emo kid that he is. And Sasuke would notice that Naruto is just weird. Like, he's dark, he seems reserved from everybody. He really wouldn't understand Naruto's personality. Sasuke would have been working towards surpassing him someday, but this is when all of a sudden everything was stripped away from Sasuke as well. And this is when he understood Naruto's pain, his suffering. No, I'm just playing it. It's not going to be that type of story. But after this, Sasuke understands that the way that Naruto is, he feels as if he's acting similar to him. And Sasuke, seeing this, would one day walk up to Naruto, as he would ask Naruto why he doesn't talk to anybody. Naruto would simply turn towards Sasuke as he would say, don't get close to me, you'll die if you do. And Sasuke, hearing that, would literally widen his eyes as Naruto would walk away, with Sasuke having that one thing in his mind the entire day. Sasuke would think that maybe he and Naruto aren't so different, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is where What If Naruto Had the Rinnegan is going to be ending. If you guys want a part 2, remember at the beginning of the video I stated we are going to be needing 800 likes if you guys want another part for this series. But with that being said, I'm gonna go get my food because I Uber Eated something straight to my crib. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna start grubbing on that food, watching some anime, and I hope you guys have a good day. I love each and every single one of you guys. You guys all know the drill. It has been your boy Zether, and I am out. Peace.